The Streamer of the Year in association with Arlington Convention and Visitors Bureau finalists are Shroud, Tfue, Ninja, Courage, Nick Merps, Dr. Disrespect, Tim the Tapman, Alan Zoka, Botaga, Pokemane, the Esports Personality of the Year in association with Arlington Convention and Visitors Bureau finalists are Nadeshot, Shocks, Goldenboy, Dr. Lupo, Fallen, Steve Aronset, Courage, Ninja, Ocelot, and Hector Rodriguez.
Esports Game of the Year. CSGO, League of Legends, Fortnite, Overwatch, Dota 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, PUBG, Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, Street Fighter 5. Esports Coverage Website of the Year in association with Sizzle Creative. VP Esports. Gosu Gamers. Dot Esports. Inven Global. The Score Esports. The Esports Observer. Liquipedia. HLTV. Deserto. ESPN Esports.
finalists for Content Creator of the Year in association with Esports Stadium Arlington are Courage, Up Up Down Down, Ali A, Laserbeam, Duncan Thorin Shields, Sunless Khan, FaZe Jev, Brian Terrorizer Hamby, Craig Minilad Thompson, Travis Gafford, and Nadeshot.
Change of range.
Hello and welcome to the 4th Esports Awards Spotlight Show of 2019. Now I'm at a very special place. I'm at the headquarters of Scuf Gaming in Atlanta, and I'm very proud to announce that they'll once again be partnering with the Esports Awards this year. They're going to be here to recognize excellence in the esports industry and crown champions this November. Now the sign is a bit of a giveaway. I'm right at the front door, so I'm going to head inside.
Shine like gold. Shine like gold.
The partnership will see Scuf Gaming more involved than ever before, with special surprises along the way, exclusives to be revealed at Arlington, and in typical Scuf fashion, they're upping the ante, and they're also going to be partnering with our Esports Console Rookie of the Year and Console Player of the Year awards. They're going to be there to ensure the excellence of all the best talent and the best up-and-comers. I have a very special guest to meet right now, and I want you to meet him too. Hi, I'm Lottie. Lovely to meet you.
Good morning, Lottie. Welcome to Scuf headquarters. We are looking forward to hosting the Esports Awards show together.
I'm very excited too, D2, and it's lovely to meet you, and thanks so much for having me. Is it just going to be me and you today?
Well, my assistant is coming.
Oh, okay.
Hey Lottie, good to see you. How you doing?
I'm very well, how are you?
Welcome to Scuf HQ. I've seen you being acquainted with D2 already.
I have indeed, he's very
I
sassy.
don't know why I am D2.
Got a little rivalry going over the D1, D2 name I see, but I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm very eager to have a little look around.
I am ready to work.
So D2 is not going to come with us, but we're going to go right around the facility. We'll take you to the VIP section, show you how the build's made at the back. We're also going to go in my office and talk about some R&D things, I think, as well. So
amazing.
Super excited to
Sounds perfect. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Excellent.
So Duncan, I can see around me right now as I'm walking down this hall, you guys are really big on the culture here at Scuf Gaming. Talk to me about how you guys started this journey. How did you come up with this amazing idea?
Sure, so I think it was fundamentally pretty simple when you think back, but it felt quite creative at the time. But really what we did initially was we felt that a controller was very outdated in the way it was being used for competitive gaming, just using 2 fingers and 2 thumbs to access 20+ commands. Felt an inefficient way for some of the more advanced titles like Call of Duty and Halo. So we came up with the idea of putting paddles on the back of the controller. That was the initial invention, and that was my business partner that originally came up with that idea. And when we talked about it, then it became, okay, let's start the Scuf gaming side of things. And then we put on adjustable hair triggers, side action buttons, we put on removable face plates, different thumbsticks, grip, remapping, all these different things that just allow you to utilize more your hand and reduce latency and hand movement. But I think that was really the birth of it. And as games have become more complex, shooters specifically, but now even more complex than just a general shooter would be a battle royale game, obviously like Fortnite or Apex Legends, where there's so many functions and you just can't play that without either playing claw, which is kind of dangerous for your hand, and even limiting on what part of your hand you can use, or using a Scuf controller that has back functions or Scuf type features. And now we've kind of created a whole industry around it, so there's performance controllers all across the world now.
I mean, you absolutely have, and you guys really helped to create and mold that bar for the level of esports that we're seeing right now. I mean, without the controllers that we're seeing today, we probably wouldn't be having as many incredible players coming through. Like you said, it's limiting back in the day, but now the options are open everywhere. Do you guys feel like you really helped and create and mold that kind of level that we're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we reflect back, I think we definitely, I mean, we did create this market space performance controllers that allow for full hand use. So, you know, we own that. We've got 100+ patents that back that fact up. But I think it's been an evolution of the actual, what the developers have done, the studios, the whole competitive environment that's grown alongside it, that's actually allowed the real performance controllers to become so important in the industry. But yeah, I do think we own it from at least from an innovation standpoint. And I think that it's definitely helped the pros play at a better level, which makes it more exciting to watch the game. It allows them to, have less movement of their hand that can sort of damage the way that they move their hand around. So yeah, we feel good about that.
That's certainly helped me, and I need all the help I can get, Duncan. So shall we move on to the next part? I'm really curious to see what we've got next.
Yeah.
So we're in a top secret location, which we'll be revealing next year at the awards. But something that has caught my eye in this room is, of course, this beautiful case of controllers. Now, I know this is almost like asking you which is your favorite child, but do you have any favorite controllers?
I have a few. I do love them all, but things that I particularly like, I think are cooler. I love the dragons. If you notice, they actually move when you move them up and down.
Very
they change
metallic.
colour slightly, and they have a metallic look, kind of like the scales on a dragon. I do love the adrenaline. This was a cool one that we did a few years ago.
That kind of vein kind of feel to it. I love
Exactly, yeah, that's kind of fun. Some of the sort of team and affiliate controllers I really enjoy. Actually, Clay controller is really nice. The way the maze moves in, that's quite
Codboard
fun.
League champion controller right
Twice.
there.
I know, really impressive, yeah. MFAM, obviously Nick Merckx, he's a huge Fortnite player. Somebody who I think is testimony to how paddles can be used, competitively against keyboard and mouse people. But they're just a few, loads of others. Crimsic's quite cool as well, but yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, talking about some of the affiliates and the pros that you guys supply incredible controllers for, how do they mold and shape the design going forward and in the future? How do you start to create things that are going to help their level of competition?
Well, I think, going from the old days where we were just adding features to a controller to allow you to utilize more of your hand and reduce latency and trigger movement, to today where we're actually adding side action buttons, and we're adding special grips, different level components around the thumbstick, even different size controllers now for different hand sizes. Then I think it's really about understanding what the new games are. Obviously the Battle Royale style game, increase the need for more hand use. So as the games evolve and as our information from our competitive community comes back to us, then we start to decide how we change the ergonomics, change the controller, and add new functions. So it's kind of it's just an evolution like anything, whether it's the same as a hockey stick, you know. It started as wooden and now it's evolved.
Absolutely, and it gets better and better, as I can see here. I mean, this is only a small amount of what you guys do in your controllers, and I want to see what's next.
Yeah, let's go.
So, Duncan, for the next part of this tour, I didn't expect to be a thumbstick in a controller. I mean, this is pretty incredible, and this takes a giant size to the next level.
Yeah, well, we as I say, we adopt our controllers to different hand sizes. This is an extreme example. We haven't yet found someone who uses it competitively, but who knows? Yeah, it's fun.
And you never know. You know, they always say impossible isn't impossible, and that's certainly not impossible here. Talk to me about why you guys made this. Why did you build it?
Yeah, we actually, so back in, I think it was 2016, the COD Champs, Call of Duty Champs in 2016, then we actually had this as part of our booth to support the big event, and we thought it was a fun thing to do, and this is actually the Infinity 4PS Pro controller, obviously a giant size version.
I mean, it's pretty incredible, but I've also heard that you're quite competitive. I also am competitive, so I've set up a few little challenges. Are you game?
Well, we're going to play some games, yep.
Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna try my best. I've never played shuffleboard before, and I may go as far as saying you're a pro, but let's do this. I'll take you on it, nevertheless.
And I've got 3 pucks, you got 4.
I do have an advantage, so I'm happy
definitely
to
have an
admit that. So, okay, who's going first?
You, because you got 4.
Oh boy, okay, here we go.
That's a great first shot. Slow down. Oh, he's off. Okay.
Oh no! Okay. I couldn't do this to the CEO of Scuf Gaming, could I? Maybe. Oh my goodness, someone stop this man.
Chance.
Oh no, I only have like a couple of gaps I could maybe go through. Oh my goodness, okay.
Oh, it's close.
You lose.
You know, I'm actually okay with that. I'm going to take this. I mean, I bow down.
I'll take a point. That's all right, you played well.
Thank you.
That's
I
good.
appreciate
You
it.
blocked
Thanks
me
for
the whole
showing
way
me.
through.
I did. I appreciate that. Good competitive level here. So, where's the next one on tour?
I think we're going through to my office, actually.
Let's go. Now it is time for our most highly anticipated part of the show, where we are going to be revealing our pro finalists. You guys at home have been nominating in your hundreds of thousands, and our Esports Awards panel have finally made their decisions. But before we get into any of our categories, I need to introduce you to 2 of my friends that I have sat next to me, who will be discussing everything you're going to be seeing on your screens in just a moment. I've got Tom Badinger with me, and I also have CEO of Scuf Gaming. You've been taking me around, Duncan Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me, gentlemen. Now, it's Dunk Scuf that you get known as, isn't it?
Scuf Dunk.
Scuf Dunk,
Yeah,
there we go,
Scuf Dunk.
and F dot.
Yeah, that one you effed up.
There we go. Do you know what the problem is with this industry? I'm going to put out there right now. You have 2 names to learn. So if you're bad with names, you're pretty much done for. I mean, it's a difficult industry to be in.
When you
just
forget
from the
their real
get-go.
name, it becomes confusing.
I just go by faces, you know.
Is it, you just, oh, you.
Yeah. Hey, you.
Hey.
It works for everybody.
Perfect, perfect. Right, our first category we're going to discuss here is Esports Coach of the Year. Now, I want to know, before we get into who has actually made the finalist team, what makes a good esports coach? Man management and even potentially inspiration as well for players.
Yeah, I think there's a whole lot of different categories that go in there. Like you mentioned, man management, you got some strategic nonsense going on in there, and every different coach is going to bring something different to a team. I think really the key there is identifying what you need to bring to the team. If you got a pizza with too much cheese on it, somebody's got to provide the sauce. If you got too much sauce, you got to provide the cheese. Finding that balance, it's the coach's job to be the chef.
Yeah, and honestly, the softer skills around just knowing people, understanding the personalities, how they perform, how to get them ready for the game before, and then during it, how you can calm them down in those moments where they've just had a kill or they've just been killed and they weren't expecting it, they're down, how do you bring them back up? Those softer skills, I think they're really important, and they're the things that people forget.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a look now at the coaches who've been pushing their teams to victory. The finalists for the Esports Coach of the Year in association with Maikai Copenhagen are James Crowder, Eric Adren Hogue, Bryce Facento, Danny Zonik Sorensen, Kim Kakoma Jeongun, Fabian Grabs Lohman, Heart Crusty Dahi, Nicholas Ashes Ridgway, Remy XTQZZZ, Taitwan Sokshka Merlos, and Packing 10. Well, congratulations to all of our finalists there for Coach of the Year. But we're on to our next category, gentlemen, which is Esports Host of the Year. Now, this for me is something very special, and I'm sure that everyone can agree. This is what makes the community fall in love with the game sometimes. It's the personalities on screen, bringing out the personalities of players and talking about exactly what we're seeing on our screens too. So for me, that's really important. What do you think makes a fantastic host?
A host is the first person you're going to see at the event, and probably the last person you're going to see at the event, minus some confetti and some trophy lifts, right? And so they've got to have that they got to have a face.
Pizzazz.
Exactly, yeah. They got to have that je ne sais quoi. You got to just be able to fall in love with them, but not too much, because they got to be your friend at the same time. There's a lot that goes into it, and if you ask me it, I probably can't write it down on a graph. It's just, do you got it? Can you make it? Can it work?
Absolutely, don't worry about you.
Well, it's that excitement, it's that energy, it's that enthusiasm, that kind of up and down, how they play the beats and they get you really emotionally involved in it. And it truly makes the esports side of the business so much more exciting and fun for people who perhaps don't know the game as well and aren't so interested in the technicalities, but they actually kind of get into the scene. And I know that's what it was like for me way back when, I was fairly new to the scene 10 years ago. It was those hosts that really got you.
That's the biggest thing between us, and one of the biggest things between us and traditional sports that's different is the talent are the personalities. They're the ones dragging you in.
Well, let's take a look now at our finalists for Esports Host of the Year. The finalists for Host of the Year are Alex Goldenboy Mendez, Alex Machine Richardson, Ifia Shocks de Botere, Hall Red-Eye Challoner, Frankie Ward, James Dash Patterson, Nivi Estefan, Chris Puckett, Trez Stunner Saranthus, and Katie Bedford. Well, there we go, a ginormous list of names there, and names that I have been watching for many years now on all of the esports across the world. I couldn't even pinpoint one right now because these names are extremely talented in their own right. But just to talk about a few, we've got to talk about Goldenboy. Alex Mendez right now is making movements in the industry. He is here, there, and everywhere. I
mean, my fellow New York brother, got to mention him, shout out to that. But, he's killing it in every sense of the word. There's a ton of other people. I mean, you got excited when we heard Puckett's name mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see Puckett. I've known Puckett for a while, obviously, since the early days of Call of Duty and right through. And the energy he brings, the enthusiasm, he's got that winning kind of personality and smile that just makes him so compelling to watch. And I just love his energy. I like Goldenboy. I mean, he's talk about a trajectory of games that he's moved between, and just his technical knowledge of the games is so impressive.
Absolutely.
You're going from sort of like the old guard and Puckett and Goldenboy that have been here forever. Frankie came on the scene like kind of last year, and we talked about that je ne sais quoi, I can't put on it. This is a woman who you meet her after the show, and she is the same woman that you see on stage. She's got this average Joe, average Jane type appeal. She just is there. and excited to do it. And that draws you in.
Yeah.
You don't always have to be the, yeah, let's do it type person
Absolutely.
to get the attention.
She's not on the graph, but she's
Yeah.
got it. She is the
fantastic.
graph.
Yeah.
No, incredible names there. And just to mention a few as well, Shocks, fantastic. Hosted last year with myself and hosting again this year. I mean, some amazing stuff. Katie Bedford, Call of Duty World League,
Love
coming
that.
on the scene straight away. Fantastic stuff. I mean, congratulations to everybody in this category right now as a finalist. And of course, remember, guys, you can actually vote for your favourite host for this year's award. So get over to the website www.esportsawards.com to have your say too. Right, so gentlemen, on to our next category. One that is actually, again, coming from a similar background to host. We've got Esports Caster of the Year.
Hey.
Now, this one has similar familiarities as hosting does. So you have to have those technical skills. You need to be able to deliver, you need to be able to hold your own, you have that charisma, the energy. But casting is different in the sense that you are on a roller coaster of emotions with your fans. Whatever happens in game, you have to big that up to everyone at home. You have to make them realize how important that really is.
I love what you said at last bit, because I kind of do a little bit of this play-by-play, my main jam. And what I always say is that the players are writing a story in some foreign language. And as a commentator, as the caster, my job is to, one, translate that into a language that you can understand, and then highlight it and export to show you the important parts. You don't need to read the whole Iliad, just get the Spark Notes. I'm the guy doing the Spark Notes for the show. But it also has to be just as exciting as a summer blockbuster. So there's a little bit of push and pull here. More technical knowledge on the caster side than the host side, I think, but you still got to deliver.
I mean, talk about thinking in 3 dimensions. You've got to remember the names of all the players. You've got to focus on the plays, and you've also got to then, make it exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's... I don't know how you guys do it, truthfully.
Absolutely, and it's the 2 dimensions, colour, play-by-play. I mean, it's whatever style fits you. And one style doesn't fit all, so that's what's really interesting about that. You always have usually a duo with you as well, which is a great addition to casting. So, without further ado, let's take a look at our finalists.
The finalists for Caster of the Year are Matthew Sadakis Trivet, Indiana Froskurin Black, Clayton Captain Flowers Reigns, Chris Papa Smithy Smith, Christopher Monte Cristo Michaels, Jack Courage Dunlop, Clint Maven Evans, Henry G. Greer, Matt Mr. X Morello, Cassie Aitchison, Mitch Uber Leslie, Anne Benson.
Well, a very talented plethora of names on our board here, because these casters really do put the cast in the cast. You know what I mean? If you know what I'm saying here, because these guys have been on the scene for a long time. But one person I want to shout here, Froskurin as well, having a female on board too. Lovely to see that.
I love it. I'm really about inclusivity, which is why esports is so sick. I think we don't really, we kind of lead the charge there. But Frost, just listen, I'm from the city. Anytime anybody's going to challenge the status quo, she's changing what you expect the caster to look like. You want to see a boring white guy with a bad haircut and a bad tie show up there and talk about the game. But Frost is out there, tattoos, special clothes. I'm here for it. I like the way she does her thing.
Absolutely love that. And we've got some big names here as well that we all recognise. We've got Courage, we've got Maven. Duncan, I know that you know these guys very well as well.
Yeah, I mean, the energy in some of these guys. I mean, Maven, he's a veteran. He's just such a professional, and he just brings such energy and enthusiasm to the game in Call of Duty. Courage, obviously, talk about a guy taking off through the last couple of years. That guy's just flying. And great guy as well.
Obviously, previous winner too.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mr. X, I mean, Matt, it's great to see, Matt's been around for a while now. He obviously came through that whole Call of Duty, Gears of War side of things. And then Benson, I mean, fellow Brit, great energy.
I know.
That guy, I don't think anyone gets more enthusiastic than him. So, there's some fabulous names there.
Yeah, it's a clean crew. They've been at it for a long time. I'm good friends with Scott Gandhi, one of the console vets, and so I know these guys. I know how they work. I like I said, as a caster, this is kind of like my craft. I'm going to go down more into the nitty gritty and mention the guys like Papa Smithy and Monte Cristo.
Yes.
Papa Smithy, I think, first of all, he's moving into a more of a player role, manager role with 100 Thieves, so congrats for that. But it's kind of his last shot here, and again, kind of challenging what you expect an esports person to look like. A little bit older, no big deal. deal. You know, kind of doing his thing. I respect that. And Monte Cristo is somebody that I've always looked up to as a commentator, because listen, you're there to entertain. You ain't there to be the player's friend all the time. And the difference between being a host and being a caster is sometimes people ain't gonna like you because of what you say. And Monte Cristo has never shied away from his opinion. That's something I fiercely believe in. Sometimes I gotta get up there and say, you're the worst player in the league. He has no issue with that. Sometimes it looks like he loves it. So I'm here for it. I like that dude. I like what he does.
Well, I can tell you something that I know for sure. He's definitely not the worst caster. So that's something. Let's move on then, gentlemen. So we have our Esports Console Rookie of the Year to talk about. Console Rookie. Now, I know that this is almost your bread and butter here, Duncan, because obviously we're talking about console, and you guys are also going to be helping out because you're partnering with us for this category as well. Now, what makes an incredible console rookie? Now, we can think about things like new to the game, of course, brand new to the esport, coming up at age as well is a huge factor here as well. We've got some young guns coming up through the ranks as well. We've seen so many names floating around. But for you, really, what does make a console rookie the best?
Well, I think with anything, when it comes to, you know, you're effectively talent hunting, yeah. And some of these guys, when they get noticed and they come through, and obviously the rookie, it's a year they've got to kind of be involved and win this category. A lot of it's down to how they perform, let's be honest.
Sure.
But it's like more than that. It's how they've been noticed, and you know what impact they're having on the team as well as an individual. And I'm excited to see who's on the list for sure.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's not even always about the results, and it's not even always about them being the star player. It's about their role in the team, like you said. If they're fitting in well, if the chemistry's working, if they're actually making a huge impact to that team as well.
Yeah, for sure. When you're talking team games, how you integrate with the rest of the squad is absolutely a big deal. You know, you can't just, Michael Jordan can be Michael Jordan, but you got to get along with your teammates. If you're not Michael Jordan, and guess what? Most people aren't Michael Jordan, but also if some consoles where we're going to see the fighting game players. And so when you're working on an individual level, this is esports. You know, you work in we get it. It's not always results driven. You got to be a player and a personality as well. So I need to see you lifting the trophy, but I need to see you lift that trophy with some pizzazz.
Well, let's find out our console rookie finalists for this year.
The finalists for the Esports Console Player of the Year in association with Scuf Gaming are Chris Simp Lair, Leonardo MK Leo Perez, Mohamed Moauba Harkuz, Dylan Envoy Hannon, Aiden Conrad, Tyler ABZ Faris, MacArthur Celium Jovel, Gavin Tweak Dempsey, Dylan Henderson, Kyle Scrub Killer Robertson.
Well, there you have it. Talented individuals coming up the scene here. Gentlemen, I mean, there's so many names we can talk about. Duncan, I'm going to start with you here because I know that there's some console geniuses on this board that you've had your eye on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a very worthy contender here is Simp. I mean, crikey, 18-year-old, E United. Those guys have had a fantastic year. And huge part of the team. So, you know, very worthy.
I've loved watching Sim kind of do it. I mean, this is the dream. A lot of people were looking at, you know, the Fortnite Cup and the winner there and saying, oh, that's every kid's dream. Sure, he's still got to go to science class tomorrow. He's 16. Sim graduated. He's 18. He gets out, and less than 2 months later wins the world championship. Money aside, he's the coolest kid in the world.
Mum and Dad, is it cool if I do COD full time? They're like, I don't know. I just won the world champ.
Yeah.
Like, you can do this every day for the rest of your life, son. That's fine.
Pay off your parents' mortgage.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I mean, some incredible moves from him as well. And I've got to name, you know, our FIFA star here because FIFA has been doing phenomenal this year. And Mo Alba, I've had the pleasure of interviewing him many times before, and he's such a humble character. And for him to managed to win this, especially against Asari as well, who's also extremely talented. I mean,
he won last year, so
did.
The nice kind of comeback there is always cool to watch. Good to see some European talent. He's from Germany, so representing his region as well. I'm going to challenge you, though. He had a longer name once upon a time, right?
He did. Mo Aubameyang.
One more time?
Mo Aubameyang.
I don't have to say it. I just have to say Mo Alba.
I think
he's done
that
fantastic.
is it. I could be wrong. Could you imagine if
I couldn't.
Really
I just said Mo Alba.
wrong? But I mean,
It's good to see also Celium in here as well. You know, obviously FaZe, they didn't have a great end to the year, but I mean, he was like a huge part of that team. And I mean, talk about a shining light within FaZe. He was definitely there. So.
100%. It's not always about result, you know?
Yeah, not always about results. FaZe, I mean, bigger picture, been doing a lot of cool stuff in and around the scene. And just before we move on, I got to mention MK Leo. Smash is really cool.
Yep.
Absolutely. Smash is super cool.
A little bit.
All right, gentlemen, we've got to move on to Esports Console Player of the Year. Now, Duncan, I'm coming over again to you here because, of course, you guys are partnering with this category as well. Couldn't get enough with just one. Had to be two.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, it's our game, it's what we do. So you know, we have to stay loyal to our controller buddies.
Absolutely, and you know, you guys have consistently improved the quality of life of our players in terms of how they're gaming and their equipment. It's so important, and you see rituals coming through now from our top talent in esports and how they are so in depth with their controllers, their wiring, their headsets, and it's super important to them. So that's huge for them. But talking about what makes a fantastic console player is consistency, level of performance, how they're managing themselves within their team, and then of course, you know, how individually skilled these guys are as well.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, this last year you've shifted from a 4 to a 5-man team, so there's some huge changes they got to adapt to. So it's not the individual skill with 3 teammates; it's now with 4, and that can change the whole dynamic of the game, which I think, you know, we saw in Call of Duty this last year. But yeah, I mean, some of these guys, the dexterity and the way in which they play, combined with the way they communicate with their team, is certainly really important ingredients.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then just like the last conversation, you know, got to mention the individualist. This is where we're going to see the FGC represented, and dexterity and all that comes down to it. You might not be working with other teammates, but you got to work with yourself. A lot of these guys have a coach as well. Are you going to listen to the coach? It's a whole different conversation. So there's a lot that goes into being a player outside of just pushing square and circle.
When I think of Console Player of the Year, I always have that classic casting line in my head. How does he do it? And, you know, speaking of how does he do it, let's see who actually has done it, shall we?
The finalists for the Esports Console Player of the Year in association with Scuf Gaming are Dominique Sonic Fox McLean, Brandon Dashi Otel, Mohamed Moalba Harkuz, James Clayster Eubanks, Chris Simpler, Alexandra K. Corant, Gilbert Explosive Rojo, Sam Octane Laru, Juan Hungrybox Dibaidma, Leonardo MK Leo Perez, Kenny Williams, and Justin.
Well, I know a few of these names are going to be ringing your bell there, Duncan, because there's some huge console players there for you, especially in the COD World League that we've just seen.
Yeah, I mean, some super worthy names here, like Dashi with Optic, and obviously then you've got the Octane and Kenny from 100 Thieves. I mean, they've had a fantastic year. Kudos to them. But then let's go back to United. I know we're covering them a lot, but
Yeah.
That's
well,
my
I mean,
squad.
I mean, it's for a reason.
Simps, he's only been in the scene for like 10 plus months. You know, obviously he was nominated on the Rookie of the Year, but he's on the Console Player of the Year as well. Very worthy.
That's insane to be nominated for Rookie of the Year and just Player of the Year, period.
Exactly.
That's not normal.
And then obviously United as well. One of my big favourites, Clayster. I mean, that's super impressive. He's won Call of Duty World Finals
It's been
twice.
so long.
now.
I mean, well, now that he's finally taken it, it's been actually over 1,400 days since this man has taken home the gold. So
But
it's
who's
really
counting,
sick.
right?
Yeah, no, but I, as a big fan, am
Stop it.
happy to see my man take it home finally, lifting it up for the red, white, and blue.
Totally with you, yeah.
Absolutely. And another name that I would love to just, you know, talk about here is Explosive Gilbert. I mean, Gears of War, their consistency, his consistency as well for his team has been huge and vital to their success. Looking at the brand new Gears game that's coming out and them having their first tournament together as well, and a tournament win under Tox was huge. And it's great to see a little bit of Gears of War in there too.
Yeah, you got to have a little bit of rough and tumble. Like I said, City Boy can't take me out. That leads me directly to the FGC. You know, they're a little push and roll. I mentioned before, can't be afraid to be the villain sometimes. And that's where my man H-Box come through. Juan has been the villain of the Melee scene. But he wins, so step up or shut up is where I come from. Puff can do it all day. Shout out to the Melee. And then across the world, I mean, you want to talk FGC, you must mention Sonic Fox. They've been a pillar of the community. They're better at their game your game, your friend's game, a new game comes out, they pick it up, a week later they're killing it, and unashamedly himself. I mean, homie comes out and just says, listen, I'm black, I'm gay, and I'm better than you, I'm number one, and number one, and number one, and they just keep delivering it, you know? It's, if you're able to win, be yourself, and also be like somebody for somebody to look up to, that's the tic-tac-toe for me, so Sonic Fox, my guy.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more, and I'm totally here for it. And another thing that you guys should be here for is, of course, our general admission tickets. Click this link if you fancy coming to the Esports Awards this year. That is all you have to do, buy your ticket, and you can be there on the night with us. Now, we're gonna take a short break, gentlemen, because I'm really tired from talking about all this excitement and all of our finalists. But when we are back, we will be revealing the rest of our finalist categories. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Esports Awards Pro Finalist Reveal. Before the break, we were discussing all of the finalists that we have revealed already today. We're literally in the middle of it, gentlemen, and I want to get straight back into it. And our next category is going to be Esports PC Rookie of the Year. Now, this is really interesting. We've had console, we're now onto PC. Obviously, we have different platforms here. Now, what makes a PC rookie? We've already discussed this console-wise, but I mean, PC is kind of down your lane now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the difference between a PC rookie and a console rookie is largely platform. I mean, I think the same thing that makes a Counter-Strike player, makes a COD player, makes a football player. It really is just kind of dedication to your craft. But when we talk PC, we're definitely talking about emerging titles and the idea of new games and sort of bleeding edge frontier.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's the platform, but the input device, most typically, obviously, keyboard and mouse, although there is more crossover now with controllers. But I do think, you know, that dexterity, everything we mentioned in console comes to play here as well, in it, if anything, in it, equally, if not more of an important sense.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's down to not only results, but it's down to your role within the team, how you're performing, like we said before for console, and it's just about how you're fitting in and delivering those victories or potential victories and placements for your team. So, go on.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
I was just going to say that there was a huge spotlight and said I just ran you over. That's my fault.
That's fine. I thought you were going to say, Lottie, you're doing a fantastic job.
Also,
please throw
on the
to our
side,
finalists. Do you want to throw to the finalists? Go on, do it.
Hi, it's me taking Lottie's job. Let's take a look at the finalists.
The finalists for Esports PC Rookie of the Year are Kyle Booger Giersdorf, Matthew Zaiwu Herbert, Tim Nemesis Lipovzek, Jiyoung Nen Yongquan, David Aqua W, Emil Nyrox Bergquist, Dan, and Jer Sergej Salo.
And those are our esports.
These are our Esports PC Rookie of the Year finalists. So some fantastic names there, aren't there, Tom, Duncan? I mean, these guys are coming up through the ranks, are coming up through the scene. And one that we have to name here is obviously Booger. He's 16 years old. He's the winner of the Fortnite World Cup. There was $13 million on the line, and he took home $3 million.
Yeah, I mean, the prize money was obviously staggering in the sense of what it was. The thing that was more staggering to me about that was the average age was 16, and 40 million people entered that competition through the whole round. And that, to me, just shows how big the whole esports and gaming world, competitive gaming has become, and it really is for anyone. It truly is for anyone.
That was the thing, you know, I had a lot of friends that had gone, you know, Courage and everybody's down there at the event, and they were talking about, like, they were parents that were bringing their kids or kids bringing their parents. It was kind of if you're into Fortnite, you're into Fortnite. Doesn't matter age, whatever is going on here. And that's a big deal. Talking about, like, emerging titles. You're coming out here, you're slaying it, and it's a spectacle. That was a rock concert. That was Woodstock. That was not just a tournament in a smelly basement. That was a big deal in an outside arena. And this kid's up there like, no problem, 16, I got it. See you later. Like, yeah, that's why I want to be in homeroom. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, it was phenomenal stuff, and it was history. I mean, as is every esports event, and it is quite incredible. But not only history, it's history for these guys too, because this is going to pave the way for their future careers now. But let's just talk about Nen. I know Overwatch here. We need to bring some more of these esports forward. Yeah,
it's always cool. Again, you know, New York, Fortnite was also in Queens, just putting that out there. But New York XL certainly doing it. He's able to kind of stand up on his own right. We haven't talked too much about the R6 world, though, and I think Danila has been kind of cool to watch, and what he's been able to bring with Empire, which has been a really rock solid team as well. So cool, a lot of wonderful names. Yeah, exactly. A lot of cool names here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is.
It's a very exciting one, and congratulations to everybody who's a finalist in that category. Now, of course, we've got to go on to our next section, gentlemen, our next category, Esports PC Player of the Year. Now, of course, we have our rookies, but then we have our solid PC players who have been in it for a while, or not always, because we have seen that on console, where we have some rookies coming up the ranks there already, showing how individually, talented that they really are. Now, let's just talk about what makes a PC player so good. Is it hours? Is it hours of play? They say you need 1,000 hours to be good at something.
It's hours in the gym for sure, but it's, you know, everything we've mentioned about the rookies as well. You've got to be able to embrace your squad, embrace your scene. I'm also looking at that more when it comes to esports than traditional sports. Can you be a mouthpiece or somebody to look at when I go, what's League of Legends look like? Can you be that guy that I point to and go, oh, it's, you know, Dyrus from years ago, right? Like, can you be that person? I think that's really important when you're looking for Player of the Year.
Yeah, well, it's the grind as well. I think at the end of the day, what's been proven through some of these younger winners now is they grind and they grind 12, 14 hours a day. And you know, you can't underestimate how these guys come through now, and it's just that focus and grind that seems to be playing more of a part.
Absolutely. It's also about how they impact their fans, their community.
Huge.
What these guys do for people who are rooting for them from right at the beginning is super important, I think, when you look at the overall PC Player of the Year. And talking about looking, let's find out who they are.
The finalists for PC Player of the Year are Alexander Simple Kostilev, Kyle Buger Giersdorf, Luka Perks Perkovic, Peter Yiliang Double Lift Peng, Nikolai Device Reds, Rasmus Caps Winfer, Russell David Twists Van Dulken, Nicholas Pengu Moitsen, Matthew Super Delisi, Jay Sinatra Won, Topias Mekatopson Tarvitsian, Johan Notail Sunstein.
Very talented individuals on this list and plenty of names to talk about. I know you're eager to go there, Tom.
I mean, absolutely. I said it before. I'm the old head. Counter-Strike, born and raised on it. I'm not that young, but born and raised on it. Simple. He took it last year. Navi's not doing this year, but I still got to mention him. Still got to mention him. Simple's the guy. Moving on to some more, you know, realistic players. I think. First of all, shout outs to the mobile world. We've been kind of light on the whole Dota League of Legends thing. OG won twice. This is a big deal, folks. So to see two of the members of OG there, leaning towards the captain. No Tail's kind of the guy, so, you know, shout outs there. But Pengu, I think. Pengu is who's really impressed me here. Rainbow Six, again, a very interesting scene. There's a lot of competition, but not when you look at what Pengu's been able to do, just consistently bringing it home. And that's what I look for, right? I said, you got to be a mouthpiece. I want to be able to look up to you and what you're doing, but also win the damn game. And that's what he's doing. First place, maybe a second. First place. That's what him and his team do. You know, so it's been really impressive.
Absolutely.
And no surprises, Booger in there again.
I know, we said it, I spoke it into existence almost, you know, we said rookies do come through right to the top of their ranks, and, you know, rightfully so. I think he's been doing a phenomenal job. He's super young and really kind of scares me because I just feel like the level of competition, if they're that young, it's only going to get higher, and my chance is zero.
Yeah. Well, in the Fortnite World Cup, it was there was a guy, did he come second, 13-year-old Argentinian?
13, yeah. Changed his life. I mean, it's quite incredible and very impactful here, but fantastic stuff from all of these guys who are on our finalist list there. And you guys can actually have your say right now. You can go to our website and vote for your favorite, www.esportsawards.com. Don't waste any time. If there's somebody here you want to see on that stage lifting up a trophy, you know what you've got to do. Gentlemen, we're over to the next category, Esports Team of the Year. It's so difficult to decide, and it's so difficult to talk about for me because teams are so individually talented, and it's so hard to pinpoint with the amount of esports we have going on and who's doing well, who's not doing well, who's being consistent. It's kind of difficult just trying to evaluate that against so many different esports, but you've got to talk about level of performance, and you're smiling already.
I love this conversation because this is the meat and potatoes.
You love it, I hate it.
Well, see, it's because there is no, when you watch, you know, the international, when you watch all these big tournaments, there are rules to your game, and he who plays best wins the game. How am I supposed to compare Rocket League to Dota to fighting games. So now this is just a conversation piece.
Yeah.
And this is where we get to
him.
have the fun.
It's like a kid in a candy shop.
This is what we signed up for, right?
Yes,
So I'm all in on this one.
Absolutely, and you've got to take into consideration tournament wins, major moments that these teams have had together, the longevity of teams sometimes. I mean, look at teams that have been in it for a long time. You look at Halo, that's right back in the day. You've had Optic Gaming, who've stayed together as a roster for such a long time. You have so many different aspects of this. For me, it's almost, I just want to crawl into a hole and not even decide.
I just want to talk for like 3 hours about
Exactly.
it.
This is probably the most subjective category we've got here.
Exactly.
It really is.
Well, without further ado, I really want to know who our finalists are.
The finalists for the Esports Team of the Year in association with Secret Lab chairs are Team Liquid, G2 Esports, eUnited, OG, 100 Thieves, G2 Esports, Renault Vitality, San Francisco Shock, Vancouver Titans, Australis, T1, and Fun Plus Phoenix.
Well, there we have it. My nightmares come true. There's a ton of names there that I have no idea who is honestly going to take this award, because there's some incredible teams here. I mean, we've got CSGO, League of Legends, Call of Duty, Dota, Rocket League, Rainbow Six. We have it all.
I mean, pick one, just start from the top. They mentioned Team Liquid at first. Counter-Strike's been their jam since the summertime. They've really been crushing it. Before then, a little rocky, but I mean, they've done so much.
I mean, 4 majors. We've got the Intel Grand Slam, but like you said, a little bit patchy at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's great to see, obviously, 2 teams representing the Call of Duty community. We've got there, obviously, eUnited. They're just on it again, but they had such a stellar end to the season, and good to see Nade Shots boys there, 100 Thieves. So yeah, I'm super excited to see the result of this one.
The color commentator in me wants to bring out the weird, crazy baseball stats. G2 at Midseason Invitational, when they beat out and they won, it was the fastest best of 5 in league history. So that's always something that's exciting for me. You know, are they the #1 team around? Well, that's a cool stat. Like that's, like I said, the cast for me kind of looks there. But overall, I think we've got to look towards OG. You're going to win the international. That's kind of a one-time jam. You're going to do a back-to-back, homie. Like OG, that's setting a new standard.
Yes, absolutely. We'll see if they get that repeat there, because that'd be something of magic, I think, personally. Well, coming with teams, obviously they're from an org. So obviously our next category is going to be Organisation of the Year. Now again, this for me is difficult too, because organisations, they have to put in so much effort and time and money into their teams. They have multiple teams in different esports, and it's about the moves that they are making within this industry. And to be honest, every single organisation has different moves, totally different moves. It just doesn't even matter. They all differ from each other, and that's what's interesting about this category for me, and who we're going to be seeing in the top ranks.
And honestly, I mean, more and more now it's becoming about the brand as well. You've got all these influencers that are coming in to support the teams to try and get that whole push underneath of how this whole world grows for us. Yeah. So
I've mentioned a lot with the players that, you know, esports is just as much the games as it is kind of the game of the game outside, the meta game, if you will. And the teams are the exemplification of that. Are you able to find and facilitate a squad that will win in your video game and also make me cool stuff to wear? Like, that's a big deal as well. And so when we look at the organizations, I'm looking at, sure, how many games do you have, are you involved in? And you know, how you're able to kind of present that. That's what the fans at home see. And then what the industry insiders see, how much do you care about those games? You know, it's easy to go ahead and support your team winning the Dota Invitational. What about some of those smaller matches? Or is your heart there?
The influence, the culture, all that other stuff, the softer stuff that really kind of just adds to this whole growth in this industry.
For me, a big point I'm gonna say right now is the nurturing for me of the players on each different team. How you allow your players and your teams to grow within your organisation, not just giving up on whoever it is who might be just having, you know, a little bit of a moment for themselves. And that nurture for me will really come across with some of these organisations. So speaking of, let's take a look at our Organisations of the Year finalists.
The finalists for Esports Organisation of the Year are Team Liquid, G2 Esports, Cloud9, 100 Thieves, Fnatic, Team Vitality, NRG, and eUnited.
Some big character organisations there, and to name a few, I mean, we've got Team Liquid, G2 Esports. I mean, they've been dipping into all sorts of challenges here. I mean, MSI with League of Legends, we've got the 6th Invitational with Rainbow Six. They're doing extremely well. I mean, I know you guys want to jump on board with this as well, but 100 Thieves, we've got Team Vitality, NRG, the list goes on, gentlemen.
I mean, eUnited.
United.
Again, they're here. Fantastic. I mean, it's like 9 nominations in the Oscars, isn't it?
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. United's fun as hell.
But then, if you go on to 100 Thieves, I mean, we talked earlier about brand and we talked about culture. And I mean, hey, Nadeshot's done a great job from being like such an influential winner in that whole Call of Duty community to having a team to now bringing in people in the pop culture like Drake to actually really help blow this thing up. So it's good to see 100 Thieves in there.
Yeah, you talk about the culture. Anytime we talk about culture, esports, Liquid and Cloud9 are going to come up. They kind of laid that foundation, once upon a time with teams like Team Solo Mid for what it is to be a fan of esports, right? And I think that sort of paved the way for teams like 100 Thieves that you mentioned, who have now kind of grabbed that gamer culture and moved to the next level. You go to any tournament and there's like a fashion vibe going on, You're going to see a lot of the same brands. You're going to see the Adidas, the Vans and stuff. And so with that streetwear culture kind of influencing and infiltrating esports, it's becoming one and one. And 100 Thieves, you mentioned the Drake acquisition. FaZe Not Here has also kind of worked in music as well, grabbing people that are just there for the culture of it all. Yeah. I mean, 100 Thieves, we're a year away from people wearing the gear just because it looks cool, regardless of the logo or the team. Okay. That embracement of the culture and what they're able to do there and find there, I mean, that's next level in addition to the games that they're winning.
Yep.
Absolutely, it's going to further their business too, if you think about it. If they have a great economy with merchandise, it's going to be bringing in money for their organisation. That's going to further themselves within esports. It's kind of a round little circle. It just keeps going around, like the circle of life of a business, really.
Yeah, one last bit I wanted to mention about 100 Thieves that I thought was really cool was this whole, when you look at like hype beast culture, right? Supreme kind of grabbed it and goes, all right, we're going to make 100 of these t-shirts. You better get one. It's a white t-shirt, but it's $2 million because there's 100 of them. 100 Thieves did the same thing. They embraced the drop culture. Yep. So understanding what it is, their culture outside of gaming, and obviously Nadeshot understands what it is inside of gaming. We're talking both internal and external forces. I think 100 Thieves are knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be really tough. I mean, that's exactly why we have an expertise panel. I mean, I'm on the panel. So I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. But Duncan, actually, just talking about the panel, I know that you actually are going to be on our panel too. It's going to be fantastic to have you on board because you really have seen esports grow up. You've molded a business where that is entirely your industry, and it's fantastic to get your expertise on our panel. So you're excited to be here?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be on the panel, and honestly, I feel somewhat unworthy from the sense of the knowledge that comes into it. People like Tom and that, there's just some incredible knowledge that goes into the panel, and I think I bring a different dynamic that, certainly isn't the wealth of total esports to the extent of, PC as well. But I know enough about the teams who are in and around the some of the games that Scuf's very involved in that I hope at least I can add some value here.
Now we have one more very exciting thing to get through for you guys. It's going to be our very last play of the month. That is right, Tommy T 999 will be bringing you your last 2019 play of the month.
What a round from him! What the hell did we just see? Look, my God, that damage! You show me more! Oh, that is going to end the game! Whoa! And he gets the kill! Esports Player of the Year. The award goes to...
Hey everybody, Tommy T 999 here, and welcome to the Esports Awards Play of the Month for August. Now, July was a very closely contested month in the race to reach the Esports Play of the Year vote in October. But I'm very happy to announce that the winner of the July Play of the Month is Device of Astralis. Now, the reason Device has moved on to the Esports Player of the Year is because of you. Yes, that's right, your votes sealed him the win. And it's the only place to do this and cast your votes for this month is at www.esportsawards.com/Player of the Month. Now, let's move on to the final Esports Player of the Month for 2019. These are the best of August. Esperanto, Crazy. Now, first up this month is action from the Star Ladder Major Berlin 2019. Esperanto pops off 3 kills at range with only a deagle at his disposal.
Just get himself into safety.
He takes him in the face. Hunter may want to hold on to what he has now. There's no defuse kit for these 2 players. And let's watch on the 4. The deagle continues. Esperanto, no! No! I cannot believe he's just done that!
Faker, T1. Action from League of Legends now, and the unkillable Demon King lives up to his moniker, aptly by displaying some incredible echo mechanics.
3 of them, actually, and it's going to be immediately decimated as he's just trying desperately to chase him down. And now goes in the front line against an Echo, will not be able to stand up to him. As another fight in the top side, Faker gonna go 1v3 at this point as he still has his ultimate. Takes out 2, and will be going here on to unveiling. Nice knockup, but still, this is an Echo, and you know the party never ends if you're an Echo player. As another kill comes down, and SKT with
Proto Barnum. Now, an aggressive start from Proto Barnum sees him capitalise on an early advantage to seal the first elimination whilst losing minimal health in the process at the recent EVO Championships.
In this man's side B? Up B? No! No! Not like that! What?
Arteezy, Evil Geniuses. Your 4th play features Dota 2 action from the International. Arteezy goes on a one-man rampage, racking up 5 kills and putting his team firmly in the ascendancy.
At least he'll be able to get 1 dive back over on the Tusker, or maybe he can get more. A double kill for Arteezy, a triple kill for Arteezy. He's just turned this crap up. Ultra kill, giving the rampage to Bash. It hits Arteezy. Rampage is solo BG.
Simp for E United. Action from the CWL now, and Simp knocks off 3 units players to put E United firmly in control and keeps the pressure on for his teammates to pick up the remaining 2 kills to seal the round.
Oh my God! No! Do it! Blow him out of the map! Send it to control! You will never see a finer...
Onchan for Red Bull Esports. Action from the Street Fighter V EVO Grand Final, and this matchup literally goes down to the wire until Bonchan stays cool under pressure and seals the title.
He's fighting for his life. He lands that critical arm. He's still in this. It's not going to kill. He's got one more chance. This is his moment. UAE. Wow, a counter from Bonchan. He jumps back. He read it and he takes it. Bonchan is now your grand champion.
Decay for the Los Angeles Gladiators. Your 7th play this month features Overwatch League action and an incredible kill streak from Decay that helps Los Angeles capture the objective.
Play comes in, ice block, can he get? He does get the closer. That's a big one, an AKM taken out in midair. Decay doing what he does best, getting kills on this Genji, and it looks like they can take point A. That was 4, that was 5, I think, in the end, from Decay. That is how you take point A. Look.
Zai for Team Secret. The final play this month sees more action from the International. This time, a play features an incredible sequence where Zai traps the Evil Geniuses players, allowing his teammates to capitalize on the opportunity presented.
Combo and no buyback. Team Secret, goddamn, you're beautiful.
And Zai left over forward. He made it happen for him. No buybacks.
That's it.
Dear Lord, that was beautiful.
So there you have it. That is your final Esports Play of the Month for 2019. 8 incredible plays to choose from, but who will progress to the Esports Awards Play of the Year vote next month? That responsibility lies solely with you. So make sure you vote for your favourite. Whether you prefer aces, clutches, comebacks, or championship deciding plays, head on over to www.esportsawards.com/play of the month and cast your vote. If you hadn't already done so, make sure you cast your votes for the Community Awards categories as well. They're all available on the site. And congratulations once again to Device for winning last month. My name has been Tommy T999. Remember to like, share, and hit that subscribe button. These have been your August Esports Awards Plays of the Month.
So we've got one last little bit of business from our industry finalists, and that is obviously presenting our beautiful Koyo coins to our finalist, Duncan here, because obviously Scuf are up as a finalist for our Commercial Partner of the Year and our Hardware Provider of the Year. So congratulations.
Thank you. This is new. This is very cool, yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Oh,
These coins are a representation of your imprint in esports and how you guys bring the best out of our players with your hardware and your commercial partnerships. So thank you very much.
Well, I'm very flattered, and I think these are clearly a nice token, and we're excited to see what happens. But it's my team ultimately around me that allow this to be possible. But I will say, the Commercial Partner of the Year thing, that's really nice to be nominated there, because
Absolutely.
From our perspective, we started the business and we started it on a couple of ingredients. One was obviously creating functional newness to what wasn't previously on controllers. But secondly, it was really how we got involved from the pro community down. That really was where we grew, a true grassroots. So we've been quite proud of supporting pros, pro teams, organizations in the days where there wasn't big prize money, in the days where there wasn't big sponsorships. That's been something we've really savoured, and I think now we've had the benefit of being able to work with, the Activisions of the world, with Call of Duty sponsoring CWL. We sponsor the, some of the new sports franchises, which is exciting, like the EMLS and the NBA 2K League. And so for me, that's a nice nomination. I really appreciate that.
And of course, Scuf Gaming, previous winners of Hardware Provider back in 2016. Yeah. How does it feel for you guys as a company to be recognised for your hard work year after year and continue to be a finalist on the Esports Awards?
Well, I remember back in 2016, the speech I gave when we collected the trophy. It was quite an emotional moment for me because, we started, as I say, this in 2010-11 from nothing. And we do think, what we've created with the functions do now make a big difference to the community. And, we're proud of what we've created. But when you look at the other names we're up against, it's a bit overwhelming. So to be in the finalist with those big names, multi-billion-dollar companies is great. So we're flattered and we're excited about the whole future of this. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations once again.
Thank you so much, and thanks to you guys, Esports. I think tremendous layout and format in which you do this, and just little ingredients like this. I think they show the appreciation that you're giving out to the companies like Scuf and the teams and players who've been nominated.
Well, we appreciate you, and we also appreciate you guys at home. I'm just going to make sure that you remember to vote for your favourite finalists you've seen today. Head over to our website, www.esportsawards.com, to have your say. Now, I may have finished some of our industry finalist business, but I have some business to finish myself, and that is because I took on Duncan in a challenge earlier on, Tom.
Oh, okay.
And he showed me up pretty bad.
Uh-oh.
Pretty bad. So I thought that I would sub myself out, do the right thing and put you in my position instead to take on the owner of Scuf Gaming in assembling a controller. How does that sound?
To be a good coach, you need to understand when you need to step back and who to put in. I might not be the guy to put in, but I commend your decision making.
Okay,
so
there we go.
Let's give it a shot.
All right, Tom, so we're going to get you limbered up.
All right.
And we'll see how you do. Now, while the boys get ready for their head-to-head challenge, I'm going to go and catch up with a very good friend of mine, Goldenboy, to get his take on the Esports Awards this year. Goldenboy, so lovely to have you join me again. It is so nice to see your wonderful face. How have you been?
I have been fantastic, Lottie. Chilling at home. It's been a fantastic break. I've had a great time. I'm just glad I get to take a breather for a little bit.
Absolutely. It's very rare to see you having a break because, of course, you've been here, there, everywhere, on everyone's screens, pretty much. I think I see you on every channel I switch to. You've had a wicked year. Talk to me about some of your highlights.
Oh, it's been great, from being able to work and pop back up at the Overwatch League. Fortnite World Cup was huge. Being able to work my first Rainbow Six event was great. And then, of course, helping launch the Apex program, too, has been pretty astounding. And then, most importantly, I made the pivot to, mainstream and doing All Elite Wrestling. So my first professional wrestling commentary alongside the legendary announcer Jim Ross, which was great. Titan Games, too, at the beginning of the year. It's been a pretty good year so far.
So only a little bit then.
Only a little bit. Only a little bit.
Not that much.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely amazing. Congratulations. You've made some serious moves as always this year. Now, I'm going to take you back to last year because obviously I worked with you at the 2018 awards, which was super fun. Had that in London. Of course, we're going over to the US this time. So that's super cool. We're kind of in, I wouldn't say your neck of the woods, but at least we're in the right country.
Yeah, it's not that big of a flight for me, so
exactly.
That'll be nice.
It could be worse, that's for sure.
Exactly.
But last year was such a blast and it was great to have you with us. Do you have a particular favorite moment from last year?
I think really it wasn't necessarily one. It was just being able to be alongside all of my colleagues again, seeing everyone like yourself, right? Getting to hang out with my friends, chilling with Bravo, Strong Side, the rest of the Halo crew that was out there. That was the fun part. And then, of course, seeing even more of the industry folks that I've grown very fond of over the course of my career. So really, it's just a great it's a great collection of just good people that not only are having this award show, but also for good causes as well. I know last year we were supporting Movember, so that was really awesome. Really, just a good feel good day of just hanging out with some colleagues. It was a good time.
Absolutely. I mean, you get to see pretty much everyone who lives all across the world in one room. Yeah. Like, you're so right. It's like a giant party with all your best friends that you rarely see face to face. I totally agree with you there.
Exactly.
And as we mentioned, of course, it's coming to the USA this year, and it's going to be hosted by Arlington, Texas, which will be awesome. What are you most looking forward to with the move over to the US?
Well, I'm excited to see my good friend Corey Dunn, who was the first guy that I had ever commentated with back at the MLG National Championships for Black Ops 1. So that's actually going to be really great. He's the one that works over in that arena, and they're the esports stadium. It's such a great spot. And then I'm also really pumped for general admission people to come in and enjoy the experience with us. It kind of reminds me a lot of the WWE Hall of Fame when they allow the fans to come in and enjoy the experience alongside the professional wrestlers. So to me, that's kind of like what this is going to be. It's like all of us enjoying it together. So I think that's going to be very fun, and hopefully people come out and just have fun, right? Because that's what esports is. It's video games at the end of the day. Yeah, sure, it's big business worth millions and millions of dollars, but at its core, it's about playing video games and having a good time. So hopefully that's what people do when they show up in Arlington.
Absolutely. And, the general admission, it totally brings a new dynamic, I think, this year. And it allows fans to be present in the room. And of course, the Esports Awards is really about people having their say on the industry and getting their vote across and their opinion across. And being able to be in the room is huge. How do you think that's going to impact the community?
Well, I think that people just joining in on the experience is just going to be, fun in itself, right? There will be moments people will, like when Dr. Disrespect showed up, and accepted his award 2 years ago, right? That was like a fun moment. I think now that will be even better with fans there, right? So I think that is going to change the experience, and I think people are really going to have a good time when they make their way to Texas.
Absolutely. And of course, we have so many new things happening this year. I honestly have lost count.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the things that is stuck in my mind is, of course, we're actually going to be having 2 stages this year. at the event. So it's a super exciting move for us because it means we can present the awards closer to our general admissions crowd, as our community awards are 100% voted by them. So they're even closer to the action that actually they have voted for, which is really, really awesome. Have you ever worked on double stages before, having to go here, there, and everywhere?
Can't say I have. No. So
first for the global icon. Okay.
Yeah. First for me. Unless I'm, drawing a blank. I've worked big venues, but I've never worked 2 stages, so that'll be pretty fun.
That will be fun. And of course, with more stages, it means there's more on-air talent. So that's really exciting. And I'm, of course, going to be working alongside yourself, Shocks, and we've got, excitingly, even more room for more talent to be had as well, which we'll announce a little bit later on as we get closer to the event. But how did you find working with Shocks, myself, last year, and the dynamic of that?
Oh, it was great. The crew was fantastic. Yourself, Adam Savage, and then Shocks. Everyone was great. All the presenters as well. It was the first time I ever did anything like this. Typically I'm just used to going out there. Either it's hosting on the stage in front of the like Overwatch fans, or commentating for Halo fans, or your Gears of War fans, whatever it may be. But it's a different experience when you're going in front of industry people. They all know who you are. They all know your brand of personality, right? Your style. So that was cool. And then, of course, being alongside everyone else and a little bit of a hectic environment of an award show was pretty insane. But I enjoyed it. And I'm really much looking forward to working with the crew again this year. I think it's going to be really fun. And I think we're all going to knock it out of the park. And most importantly, as I keep stressing, just having fun. That is the most important thing.
Hell yeah. I mean, also, like, we get to experience this with different people. Like you said, working alongside different people brings out different personalities, of course. Yep. And we get to switch our duos pretty much every segment. So we all get to work with each other one way or another. So that'll be super, super fun. Like, no one gets to miss out any action, which is awesome. And of course, with the change comes the opportunity for more big moments on the night. And we know that Esports Awards is filled with big moments. So which award, thinking of that, do you think will mean the most to the community?
Oh man, there are a lot of awards that I think a lot of fans are very much looking forward to. I think the personality of the year is always an important one, and then streamer, like broadcaster, right? Like celebrating those people. So the streamer of the year is always a hotly contested debate. And it's always the big names, and they always have their own fans, and they're all their own, personalities and backstories behind it. So I think that's going to be one that fans are very much looking forward to. And I think it's just going to be great. I think it's going to be great. We're going to see a lot of people cheering, hooting, hollering. I hope everyone's respectful. That's the number one thing. I hope everyone's respectful and having fun. But I think Streamer of the Year is going to be a fun one.
It's gonna be a big one to announce. So I'm excited to see who wins that. And GB, of course, you're a legend in your own right, and you don't let anything short of your title either. Of course, with your is that a self-given title, by the way?
Oh, the global icon, national treasure? Mm-hmm. Oh, not at all. When you entertain millions across the world and different entertainment platforms, it's something that is just bestowed upon you over time. Who bestowed it? Me, but that doesn't matter. It wasn't me necessarily. It was me through a series of events. And I think if you speak it enough into the world, it becomes real. That's the way I look at it.
Those are stolen words for sure, GB, for sure. But of course, you are an absolute legend in your own right, and you're respected all across the industry. So it's an absolute pleasure having you working with us as well this year again. Now, of course, you are down for so many different categories, as you were last year as well. I just want to know, which finalist, which category and position means the most to you?
It's hard to say because I'm not one really for awards. I thought I was, but I've experienced it. I did the award season thing, and I was like, I think I'm I'm good. But that being said, though, you know, I mean, if it was, I always looked at Broadcaster of the Year as one that, you know, carries a lot of merit amongst, you know, our peers and something that I've come to respect. So I'm really much looking forward to seeing who wins that. Do I think I'm going to win it? Probably not, but I'm okay with that. I think whoever wins it, though, and all the people that are nominated, everyone's worked so incredibly hard in this business to make it what it is. Sometimes a lot of us go often, I wouldn't say unrecognized, but oftentimes in the internet can be a very interesting place. So I think that people who put in that time and work, it's just nice to see those names up there. And there's so many others that, you know, should be nominated as well. Great talents that are going to continue to rise up and continue to make even more, you know, like outstanding content. So if I had to pick one award, Broadcaster of the Year is something I'm looking forward to seeing who wins that. And I'm also looking forward to the Esports Supporting Agency of the Year, because my buddies over at CSA are nominated this year for the first time. So they get to live the award life as well. So that's going to be really fun.
Absolutely, and you know it's a fantastic category that we're adding as well this year, because you know there's so many people behind the scenes that deserve some credit. So I'm really excited for that one as well. Now, GB, before I go, I need to discuss wardrobe with you just quickly, because of course last year you kind of knocked out the park with that suit. So I need to know, will we going bigger and better?
You know, we're gonna try. It's obviously my wife who is the big planner when it comes to what I wear. She always has the thoughts, and she's always like, "Yeah, you should go velvet, or you should go with this." Last year we had a pretty good suit. I'm gonna work on losing more weight, and then, you know, so I could fit into my jacket that I had pre-planned. So we have plans. It's going to happen. I'm really looking forward to it. It's all dependent on whether or not I can get my butt to the gym. It's going to happen, though. But yeah, we're going to step it up. Everyone, though, was like drop dead gorgeous. So everybody, you know, like last year, everyone looked incredible. So I don't know if people are necessarily going to be looking at me more so as, you know, all of our different nominees and winners, as well as the other hosts as well. I think we're going to be okay.
Absolutely, and it's an excuse to get really dressed up, which is super cool to see within our industry, is people in tuxes and full-on dresses. It's not something you see every day, so yeah, that's going to be really, really cool as well. But Goldenboy, it's always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. So thank you so much for jumping on with me. I am so excited to see you at the awards. And to be honest, just best of luck for everything going forward, and keep busy, but also have a little bit of a rest as well, because we don't want you to burn out before November. So
that's right. Yes, that's right. It's going to be great.
Keep it cool. Keep it cool, man. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Three, 2, 1, go.
I got that. Yo. I'm still here. No, I was still here. Oh, you for real? No, I was going this time. No, I was doing it.
Much quicker though.
Oh no. Oh, we're fumbling that. I was supposed to be the one. This was supposed to be the difference maker. But
only 35 seconds. You get your 30-second advantage, you're in.
Come on, Tom. I don't know what's going on.
Dude, just the sides. Come on, quick.
Yay, we did it.
Yep, pretty close.
Yep, that's
You
it.
lose.
All completed. Yep, nothing there. Nope.
Nice.
We're all good.
That was good. You missed the side bits, but that's all right.
I didn't miss anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, it took me 47 seconds, I think, at my best to kind of put it together, which, I mean, I made a whole controller from scratch. That's what I'm going to be telling everybody in less than a minute. Crown me king of the Vantage 2. Real talk, I love this. Lottie won't love me because I lost, but that's just how she goes sometimes. I'm going to take the controller and run away from Lottie.
And if there's any consolation, Tom, that was the fastest time I did, 20 seconds, but there's a guy in our office who can do it in 12. 12 seconds.
12 seconds or not, we got the controller. Thanks a lot, guys.
Now, I did hear while I was talking to Goldenboy that Tom failed me miserably and lost the challenge, so Team LVP is totally out the window. But I know that you guys at home won't fail me because I know that you're going to be voting in your millions for all of your favorite finalists you've seen today. Head over to the website www.esportsawards.com. That's also the place that you can buy your general admission tickets to be at the awards yourself. That's pretty much all from me, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you yet again and to deliver you this amazing pre-show before our incredible awards night. That's it, I've got to go. I've got to run and grab my...
One second, before you go, we just want to say a big thank you for coming by.
Oh, thank you.
And we couldn't leave you empty-handed, so we made you your own personalised Scuf.
Oh, thank you so much, Duncan. That's awesome. Okay, it's like a holy grail of controllers. Whoa! Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Whoa, I love it. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you so much, Duncan. That's amazing.
Good seeing you. Thank you, Lottie. Yeah. Thanks for coming by and safe journey back.
Thank you so much. Well, that's it, guys. I'm walking away with a personalised controller. I'm happy. See ya.